In 3, 2, 1, rolling sound. We get a clap. Who are you?
My name is Michael Julian Bond, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
What was your childhood like, and what were some important lessons that you learned then that you carry with you today?
My childhood was very mixed, of course, like most childhoods, some positive and some negative experiences. My father's in politics, so my childhood was very political. I cared about voting from a very young age. Um, I was very concerned about who won the elections and um, what can I say? From a very young age, I was always into politics, and it shaped the way I lived, and it shaped my relationships. It shaped how I understood people.
How does a flower grow?
It begins as a seed and then germinates. Slowly, it blooms.
Please give me a number from 1 to 100.
Hmm, 34.
What is the craziest thing that you've ever done, and would you do it again?
Oh, the craziest thing I ever did was skydiving, and no, I would never do that again. I was trying to face my fear of heights, and I thought foolishly that if you confronted your fear, that it would remove your fear. Well, I jumped out of an airplane, and I'm still very afraid of heights.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
Um, 67.
Have you always had the same political beliefs? Is there something that impacted them?
Um, my political beliefs have changed recently only because I realized as getting to know more people in politics that there are some people who don't really care about what's actually going on in the community. There's some people who really just want power for their own selves or power for power's sake. It's made me look at the party system differently, Democrat and Republican. Um, there's a huge difference between them, but in certain ways, you could be a Democrat and have more in common with a Republican. So I myself am more of an independent, just because in getting to know in getting to know Democrats, I've started to like Republicans. Just personalities that you meet, you know. You would think that there would be a lot in common, but that's why it's important to get to know people.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
11.
What is your happiest childhood memory, and what makes it so special?
Hmm. My happiest childhood memory would be making pancakes with my grandfather. And it's just it's just always been that way. Sometimes there's more people there. Sometimes it's just me and my grandfather, Grover Benjamin. He was a World War II veteran, and he would make pancakes from scratch. And I had to be like 3 or 4 years old, but the pancakes were always good, and I could always drink coffee like a grown up. And it's just one of those moments that just always stands out in time, timeless.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
75.
Think about the people that you love the most in your life. What do you do for them?
Hmm. Well, I had hoped that I'd be an inspiration. I'd hoped that I would be making them proud. One thing that I always do is tell them the truth, and I don't hurt them, even when I want to. Even when what I mean is, if there's a cruel word or if there's something that I know that would hurt them or make them feel bad, I don't do it. I consider that a gift because this world is cruel and people will hurt you for no reason.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
Mm, 88.
How do you define beauty?
Truth, honesty. I think the most beautiful people are the people who are most honest with themselves in more than just telling people the truth from day to day, but being themselves authentically with authenticity, being true to their own being allows us to see something unique, different, and truly beautiful.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
2.
If happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would make you rich and what kind of work would make you poor?
Let's see. I don't think that any work would make you rich or make you poor if happiness was the currency.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
65.
Tell me about the facts or harsh truths you choose to ignore but you know you shouldn't.
The facts are the hard truths that I choose to ignore, but I know that I shouldn't. I don't ignore any hard truths or any facts. I don't think it's responsible. Um, but one thing that I find hard to acknowledge that is a truth is that people are incredibly different, and there's no summary. There's no one or two people alike. And you may think that you know someone, or you may think that you've shared yourself with someone, but until we're able to dive into each other's actual innermost thoughts, there's no true way to truly know anyone at all.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
100.
What do you believe and why do you believe it?
What do I believe and why do I believe it? Um, Specifically, like religiously, or what do I believe and why do I believe it? Uh, well, I suppose I need something more specific because I don't know if you mean like religiously, what do I believe? I don't believe in any religions at all. And the reason why is because I have schizophrenia. And when you have schizophrenia and you've suffered from uh, hallucinations or delusions, or when you've heard auditory hallucinations, when you've heard voices, when you've felt things that aren't there, when you've seen things that aren't there, when you've just had when you've smelled stuff that's not there, when you've smelled your hair and smelled chicken instead of hair, then you realize that all of the senses that we have are truly controlled and are truly made up in our brain. And everything that we view to be magnificent and spiritual is all a projection of our own perception. So having gone the gambit, having gone to insanity and back, baby, that's a hell of a ride. I mean, and having in the science of medication, that's what I believe in. I believe in science. Science, get in there with the beliefs. And I believe it because if they can create a medication that could stop schizophrenia, and they have, or the effects of schizophrenia, they can cure any disease. But more important, that's why I don't believe religion. I believe that religion has been swept up and entangled in mental health. I think that when you're able to separate religion from mental health, you will receive it as stories. And once you receive certain stories a certain way, um, like for instance, um, Jesus' life, and if you receive that as just the facts of what happened in his life, and you separate that from the spiritual mysticism of it all, and you listen to the lesson of Jesus, personally, my view of his life changed. I do believe everybody's life is a gift, but when I hear the story of Jesus, I hear a story about a revolutionary who was trying to change the world, who got in with a crowd of people who betrayed him and didn't have the resources to save him. And when I think about Jesus, I think about Black men. I think about Martin Luther King. I think about all these people. I think about Malcolm X and how their stories are nothing like Jesus's stories. But when you separate the religious and the mysticism from it, you realize that the lesson is that we all need each other to support each other, and we have to stay away from toxic relationships.
Please give me one final number from 1 to 100.
On the final number, 50.
What are some of your own personal goals within the next 5 years?
Oh, well, my health, my personal goals. It's really right now is just to express myself as much as possible artistically, to work in communications, and to lose like 50 pounds at least and keep it off.
How do you find meaning in your daily experience? What propels you through life?
Um, how I find meaning in my daily experiences is just in growth and in trying to grow into the person that I would like to be and acknowledging the person that I am.
What has the experience of living been like for you to this point? What can people learn from your life?
My life has been a roller coaster of ambition, dreams, and a bit of hell. It's some time in hell and a climb upward. I want people to learn from my life is just to go after your dreams, no matter what your dreams were or are. I don't believe that anyone should ever have a dream that has not been satisfied. I think that's the purpose of our life, is to satisfy the things that we want to do.
So this is the last question and the reason we're here today. Life is fleeting. We never know when it's our time. If these were your last words ever recorded, what would you say about your life and your legacy?
Joie de vivre, joy of life. I lived for the joy of life. And in my life and living, that is all that I'm doing in my searching. It's just trying to find the joy in my day to day interactions, in what I wish to accomplish in the future, in everything that I do.
So I'll ask you again and finally, who are you?
I am Michael Julianne Bond, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.